name is Mariela Rodriguez. I am the author of the book God is Love, A Young Woman's Encounter with God. I wanted to share in this video about this dream that I had with my uncle who passed away, I believe, in November. It was the week right before Thanksgiving. And when he passed away, he basically passed away so rapidly. My mom didn't even get to say goodbye to him. That was her brother and her other siblings as well. And for several weeks after he died, I was feeling very saddened, of course, because of his death. And I had prayed in silence to Jesus and asked him to reveal to me if my uncle was in a safe place. And Jesus replied to my prayer by giving me a dream. And I actually wrote it down in my notebook where I write all the dreams that come from God. And I wanted to share it with you all. And I called this dream the Born Again dream. Last night I had a dream that I found out or knew my uncle had died. He actually did die this past November. My brother was going to take his place to serve in the church. Then a baby was wearing a white tuxedo that belonged to my uncle. And although it was big on the baby, it looked beautiful. And I remember in the dream, I was inside a room, and when I saw the baby was so small, and it was wearing this white tuxedo, and it looked so big on the baby, but I knew the white tuxedo belonged to my uncle. And then the baby was going to be presented to the church. And when it was about to be presented to the church, they were going to hold up the baby and show the baby to the members in the church. That's when I woke up. Now, one of my good friends who's very gifted, and I call her the prophetess, she always asks me, like, what is it that I felt when I had the dream? So in this case, when I woke up, I just focused so much on what the baby had on, which was the white tuxedo. Now, white means pure and innocent as well. So I wasn't really focusing too much on everything else. I was just so focused on the white tuxedo. So weeks later, I called my friend for guidance, and right away, the Holy Spirit guided her without her not even opening up the Bible, because that's how gifted she is, to John 3. And I actually have a Bible here, and I want to read it to you all. It's in the book of John 3, and she told me about it, and I would like to read it to you all. It says, Jesus teaches Nicodemus. There was a Pharisee named Nicodemus. He was one of the Jewish rulers. He came to Jesus at night and said, Rabbi, we know you are a teacher who has come from God. We know that God is with you. If he weren't, you couldn't do the miraculous signs you are doing. Jesus replied, what I'm about to tell you is true. No one can see God's kingdom without being born again. How can I be born when I am old? Nicodemus asked. I can't go back inside my mother. I can't be born on a second time. Jesus answered, what I'm about to tell you is true. No one can enter God's kingdom without being born through water and the Holy Spirit. People give birth to people, but the Spirit gives birth to spirit. You should not be surprised when I say you must all be born again. The wind blows where it wants to. You hear the sound it makes, but you can't tell where it comes from or where it is going. It is the same with everyone who is born through the Spirit. So my friend gave me more clarification based on the dream that I had, and she said that she felt the Holy Spirit telling her that the baby meant to be born again. And she really made me think, and both of us, we just started laughing, and we started, thinking about how a baby is so innocent and pure, just like the white outfit it had on, and how my uncle, he was so humble, so filled with so much joy and life, and he acted like a kid sometimes. That was just part of his personality. He loved God, and she basically told me, my friend, that he is for sure in a safe place. And even to have more confirmation of the dream that I had, other people have had other dreams with my uncle that have been very meaningful dreams. And I'm just grateful to God that he gave me this dream, because it did not only help me understand more of his word, that I didn't know my dream had come exactly straight from the Bible, but thanks to my friend who's very gifted, she helped me. And I'm not only grateful for that dream because of that, but I'm also grateful because I get to share this dream with so many people, to let them know that we must be born again. And it doesn't necessarily mean to go back into our mother's womb and then just be born again. No, it means to be born again in spirit. Once you decide to follow Jesus, you are deciding to be born again. You are changing your old ways into new ways that will lead you to a better life. And one last thing that I wanted to share with everybody, and that makes this dream even more special, is that I shared this dream with my uncle's wife, and one of the words that she said when I shared this dream with her was, wow. She couldn't believe it. And then she told me, did you know that your uncle, his favorite verse from the Bible was to be born again? I was in total shock. I couldn't believe it. And that's another confirmation for sure that my uncle is in a very safe place, and that the way that he lived his life by serving God, besides having so much circumstances in his life, especially with his health, he is just someone that I still admire regardless if he's not here. But he left such a good trace for me and for my other family members, and even his friends that knew him at church. And that trace was that we must really follow Jesus regardless of what goes on in our lives, and we must always be humble, and I will always remember him as a humble person. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a blessed day.